You alright, guys? So, yeah, welcome to the live stream. Obviously, officially the New York Open live trading session. Um, yeah, so things are looking like they're really struggling to make a push up higher. Obviously, this morning we were looking for potential continuations in the rebound. But yeah, as we've kind of had a bit of time moving, really being slow. I mean, it's still on the cards that we could see a very small push back up in prices. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how things kind of play out. New York has officially opened. So yeah, let's see how things kind of play out. I mean, the dollar found a bit of support here. It does look relatively weak to continue pushing up. So again, we could just see some structure being built up and then it move up again. Again, it did really struggle to even move down as well. So yeah, I guess we'll keep an eye on things, see how things are moving. But yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a relatively quiet day for markets. Doesn't look like it's going to be a lot of movement, but again, we'll continue. We'll see what's happening. We'll see if we can get any trades on the cards. Those that are just joining us, welcome. Feel free to message us in the chat with anything that you like, any altcoins, any markets that you'd like us to go through. More than happy to go through it with you all. I mean, a majority of you probably have already been in these live streams before, so you can kind of know the score of it. But yeah, welcome. Hope you're having a good day. But yeah, let's see how things kind of play out. Getting a little bit of a push up higher. Again, probably looking about 17k, if not just below 17k as the next resistance. That's if we manage to obviously break through this level. I mean, the sellers, the buyers, both sides are very weak. Kind of a little bit of indecision, bit of price compression, as you can see. So we'll see which way it breaks. But yeah, probably looking like moving up a little bit higher just into here before finding some stronger resistance. But we'll see how things kind of play out on the dollar index. It's kind of the main thing to really be looking at is the dollar and seeing how things kind of react there. So yeah, we'll see. But again, there is a lot of volume, a lot of orders being stacked at this point, so we should see some supply being dumped if it does make that push, and then hopefully kind of come back down. But yeah, I mean, just decline in volume on this price compression, so it wouldn't surprise me if we get a quick push up and then a quick push back down, as the sellers kind of dump supply and take control of the market. So we'll let markets warm up a little bit. And then we should see a bit of direction. Currently 4 minutes into that New York Open. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll give it a little bit of time. Let it warm up. And then we can get a bit more of direction in the market. But, I mean, In terms of dollar index, obviously we kind of got a triple top here, which is a bearish reversal. So again, it wouldn't surprise me if we get a little bit more upside on Bitcoin and a bit more downside to the dollar index, kind of coming in and testing this level of liquidity that's already tested and found a lot of demand actually coming off it. So yeah, we'll see. What was I going to do? Okay, yeah, I got it. Let's see. Going to get some movement. It's just weak volume. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of liquidity here. Came up, tested. So that's probably the most likely area for it to move up to. If it does move up and kind of hold, and then start seeing a little bit more of a downshift. Yeah, we'll see.
I think it's really going to depend on how the first few people come out of the gate, right? We start with the financials, and that's going to have a different. There's been a lot of volatility, so there's been a lot of trading. There's going to be a little bit of a difference there. I think at some point that they will try to kitchen sink it. I'm just not sure it's going to be
Seeing a little bit of volume coming in.
here. And if it is, then that gives us
So,
that first
yeah,
look.
it probably looks like we're going to push up
But if it isn't, then we still have to worry
and
about
then
that
come
earnings
down.
trade gap. And I think that that's going to be part of what's going to be difficult about 2023.
Sarah, is it still too early to talk about leadership of a recovery trade and what leads it through next year?
I don't know that it's too early, but I think it's difficult to figure out exactly what it is, right? We've seen a big move in the industrials on the hope that, the global economy doesn't have a big recession. I think it's hard to see exactly where that's going to come from. I used to think that it was going to be the profitable technology companies, but they have really suffered a lot more than I expected them to through all of this. And I think that we really need to see what part of the economies do okay. I think that because the labor market is so strong, the consumer stays a little stronger than expected. And this is part of the tension the Fed is feeling now. How do I impact the labor market without crushing consumers? And it's I don't know what the answer to that is, but we're going to need to find some sort of leadership, and I don't think we have it yet.
So, Sarah, let me ask you a question. This year was all about the change in the liquidity regime, and that played out in multiples. Next year is all about the economy. Do we get a recession? What does it look like? And that plays out in earnings. Take me to the stage after that. Do we get back to multiples at all, or do we just go through multiples, earnings, and then it's a clear pathway?
Well, I think part of the reason that you're okay with higher multiples is that the earnings have been higher. So I don't think that just earnings alone doesn't also impact multiples. Because at some point, there's an aspect of, I see the earning picture getting worse and worse, and I'm still paying 15 times. Well, that 15 times, that E number has changed. So now I'm paying 15 times a smaller number. I'm not sure that it's easily as clean as that, but I also think that this is where everyone is looking to get through this so that we can see what comes out on the other side. But we're not even through it yet. The Fed's not even finished raising. You just added Japan to the mix, and countries that are adding to the tightening of global monetary conditions, and how that plays out through the economy and through earnings is still a question mark. So I hesitate to say that the multiple picture is completely finished yet, because that also ties into interest rates, and I'm not quite sure we're done yet.
Hey, Sarah, wonderful. As always, Sarah Hunt there of Alpine Sachs and Words on the latest. Mohammed, let's reset. You and I talked about this a million times this year. I'm going to butcher this, so correct me by all means. I think it was crisis in EM, it was recession in Europe, stagflation in the US. Is that what you were expecting this year? Looking out to next year?
Little fires everywhere in EM, not crisis in EM, but little fires everywhere.
Are you still base case stagflation in America next year?
Yes. If deflation part is compared to the 2% target, yes. But
There's a lot of indecisiveness here.
and the damage is not as bad as you would have expected based on history. So that's the good news.
I'm trying to work out where the Fed is in all of that. You heard Sarah say, and I think this is really important, it goes back to something we talked about all year together. How do you price risk if you can't price the risk-free rate? I mean, we have massive volatility around the risk-free rate as well. It appears to me that people are getting more comfortable with this idea that that's done with now. That maybe they push towards 5, but the next 50 basis points, next 100 basis points of tightening isn't all that important. Let's focus on the cuts. Do you think that's a mistake?
So I think where the mistake comes in is not understanding that when you make a big policy error at the beginning of a process, it's almost impossible to get back into a world of first best. So the Fed made two big policy errors coming into this. First, the transitory inflation call, and then not moving fast enough. So now it's forced into a very front-loaded, and it's trying to push markets to a place that markets don't want to go. And that is the issue, is we cannot get back to a first best policy world. So you've got to worry about the unintended consequences of the policy regime. That is what the markets haven't quite understood yet.
What mistake do you think this Fed's making at the moment?
I think they're going to over tighten, and they're not going to acknowledge that in a world in which the supply side has become the main issue,
Get some sellers.
inflation target doesn't make total sense. It doesn't mean we change it, but it means
Well, you know where I'm going next, don't you?
right. They can't change it. I mean, it is impossible to increase an inflation target that you miss consistently. Credibility. Argentina tried that. You don't want to go there.
Look how it worked out.
Right. But what they're going to try and do is try and convince us that we can have stable inflation at 3 to 4%. It's not at the end of the world. much worse, and they can't explicitly increase the inflation target. Look, they're in trouble. I wrote an article saying, you've had 2 horrible years for the Fed, and trying to get back on side is not that easy when you've had 2 horrible years.
It's hard to answer this question. If they tolerate 3 to 4 without explicitly changing the target, is that constructive for risk going into next year?
If we can get to a stable inflation at 3 to 4, absolutely. Okay, but you've got to get there.
But that's a real different market paradigm, regime shift from what we were used to pre-pandemic, isn't it? What's the character of that versus what we've experienced the last 10 years?
You're right, SKS, how you doing? CKS, I mean. Is that Ismail? Might be Ismail, I don't know. Welcome anyway though, mate. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Seeing a bit of volume coming in. Markets deciding which way to go. Yeah, let's see which way it's going to break out. Currently continuing to compress. Yeah, there's quite a lot of decent volume coming in here. Now we're getting some concentrated sell side. Yeah, let's see which way it goes. Dollar index, I mean, yeah, found a bit of support here. Now back up above. Still looking likely we could turn around, dip back down. So, yeah, at least for now we're moving back down. We'll see. It could be a very shallow move. Maybe come down here, test this for liquidity, move back up. So we'll see. Waiting for a short entry on XRP. Yeah. Need direction from Bitcoin first. Let's see. Is it coming down to that order block, that 200 holding? Looks like it. There we go. Find a bit of support. See if it can continue. Could be a fake out from that price compression. It could move straight back up. Something that could definitely happen. Yeah, dollar index is now making a little bit of a turn. So those that are joining us, welcome. Feel free to message us in the chat. Yeah, we're just kind of seeing whether things can move down a bit lower here. Dollar index is kind of building up on some structures, you can see. So ideally, yeah, think the direction, at least for the short term, for the next few hours, is going to be determined on which way it breaks out of these highs and lows. Yeah, if we manage to break through the high, push past that 100, come test this top, things will move down lower. But yeah, if we break through the 200, start moving back down, yeah, I mean, there's structure all the way back here now. So yeah, we'll have to see how things are kind of developing, but we're getting some sellers coming into the market, as you can see, so we'll see how well they can hold. But again, some more supply being dumped. But yeah. Does look relatively weak here, doesn't it? See if the dollar can make a nice push up to the buy side. It'll be looking very, very nice. It's building up on some structure here. Hopefully we can make some breaks. And yeah, be coming down.
The Twitter drama continuing to unfold on Wall Street and on Capitol Hill, both sides of the aisle taking their shots.
Alright, we're coming up, testing. See whether we can move back down. But I mean, came into this order block quite perfectly, so not too sure.
Elizabeth Warren voiced her concern in a letter to the Tesla board. Let's get some team coverage for you. AMH down in DC, Ed Ludlow over in
Was quite a lot of sellers coming in at that point. So a lot of sellers. Buyers also coming in. We'll see. Oh, there goes the dollar.
Just a single line in that report stating that Twitter deleveraging overhang with Elon selling Tesla shares, 22 million shares in the month of December alone, 20 million back in November. It's still downward pressure on the stock and everyone is very much in wait and see mode. But that stock, John, Tesla now lowest level since November 2020. AMH, everybody has something to say about this. In Washington, D.C. specifically, Senator Warren wrote a letter to the board recently basically asking whether Elon Musk and his involvement in Twitter was hurting Tesla shareholders. Elon Musk said this: the United States has definitely been harmed by having her as a senator. Lol. Can you walk us through AMH how this is playing out in Washington?
Yeah, well, Elon Musk is always finding himself in hot water in Washington, really almost with both sides. They all want a piece of him, and because they really want
Yeah, it does look like we're going to make that break. So we'll see how things kind of react. I mean, crypto's still looking relatively weak here, so
there could be also conflict of interest. You have a Tesla competitor like Audi that has advertisements on Twitter. But John, again, this is a long list of complaints from Capitol Hill on Twitter. You had Chuck Grassley recently, a top Republican. He wrote a letter to the former Twitter CEO, now saying it to Musk. Please, we want to know what's going on in terms of security controls at Twitter. You have the RNC re-upping their letter to the SEC in 2010 about the fact that they think Twitter was squashing some conservative media. You also have from the senators like Warner, and you have also from Senator Murphy, who talked about the fact that for Musk to make this play on Twitter, he was able to have funds from Saudi Arabia and Qatar's foreign sovereign wealth fund. There is a number of issues on Capitol Hill, John, and just today the latest is about his dual role as being a Tesla and a Twitter.
So, Anne-Marie, other than a very long list of complaints, is there anything that Congress can do to change behaviors at Twitter or Tesla, or is this just a situation where they're complaining and that's it?
Well, I think there's some things that we could potentially see, and this is something that we heard from Treasury Secretary.
So nearly back at support. Got some concentration of orders just here. So again, I mean, crypto hasn't really made that strong push back up. It's still kind of building on some structure on the very low time frame. So I mean, if we get a good reaction here from this support and start moving back up, then yeah, probably looking at prices continuing to come down on crypto, but we'll see. We do need a nice, yeah, need prices start pushing right back up, yeah.
All of that hate speech has actually calmed down since he's taken over, but these two Democratic representatives would argue that it actually has not, and it's actually spiked.
AMH down in DC, wonderful as always. To you, Ed, as well, over in London. Thank you. Let's get some sector price action. This equity market breaking down just a little bit in the last 20 minutes. Here's Abby.
Hey, John. Well, yeah, we are looking at a fifth down day for the S&P 500, the worst 5 days since late September, so there is some serious selling.
So I'm going to look at some levels anyway. So kind of found some sensitivity at that 0.5. Let's have a look at how the 618 reacts. But again, you're seeing some decent volume coming in. So yeah, let's see.
Smart appliances promise to make our homes greener. To protect our planet, some
Yep, moving back up, aren't we?
to help fisheries live a sustainable life.
Right, let's see how things react at the next resistance. So got resistance up here. Starts breaking through the structure, then yeah, this resistance here is next in play.
To adapt in a fast-changing world, you could hire a professional pit crew. They deliver real-time data and business forecasts when you need it. To help you stay ahead of the curve. The finance, HR, and planning system that helps CFOs make better decisions faster. For an accelerated decision-making world, working for a changing world.
For Lionel Messi, touching down with Argentina, back home a little bit earlier in the last 24 hours. Mohamed capping off. What an amazing career that man.
Right, straight into that zone.
Happy for him, and I'm really happy that he's not retiring because I think he has more to contribute to football.
Just absolutely brilliant. Speaking of football, New York Jets. Just got this question over the Bloomberg Terminal subscriber. You've got to ask Mohamed his quarterback's preference going forward. Zach Wilson, Mark White.
Mike White.
Mark White. That's it, done.
We had a whole hour, but you had to bring it up. You had to bring it up.
At the very end, you haven't got the opportunity to leave now.
Right, here we go. Getting some supply here. Yeah, we should see.
Smart appliances promise to make our homes greener. To protect our planet, Samsung will continue to introduce innovative technology to help fisheries live a sustainable life.
This is probably where we're looking to add some more margin to the XRP trade. At this 100, at this order block, that's looking like a nice area to add some more. I mean, we're finding some supply here, as we did say, at this kind of high concentration level of orders. So we'll see how things kind of play out, yeah. But I mean, things are still looking very, very bearish for Bitcoin. Let's have a little look at the dollar index. Whereabouts are we? Still got a little bit more room for things to come down and into. Perfectly fine. So yeah, no qualms.
Home to around half our global population, they also account for more than 70% of the world's carbon emissions. MMX
XRP short 3434. Yeah, I mean, you can add a little bit more margin at when it comes up to this level here. Just average yourself in, it's perfectly fine. Three, 4, 6, oh. Yeah. Yeah, looks good, mate. Looks good. There's a little bit more room for things to push up into, but not too much. I mean, as you can see, it's already starting to struggle. Already starting to see some supply being pushed in, so I don't see it moving too much more. But yeah, this whole area here has got quite a lot of orders being held, so I'm sure. Well, we're already starting to see some more supply being dumped at this level, so yeah. 0.3520 max. Yeah, probably. Again, there's a whole load of orders at this level, so yeah, it's a whole load of orders, yeah. But I mean, even across the board, it's relatively very small pushes up. I mean, the altcoins are making a little bit of a move, but just really nothing. So yeah. So we'll see how things kind of develop. As you can see, we're already starting to wick on top. Seeing obviously supply being dumped. The buyers aren't looking too strong. I mean, you're starting to get a little bit of volume coming in, but yeah, we'll see.
Continue the moon theme though into the Swatch CEO. I did. Kind of.
But what would it be?
Well, no, that's the whole shtick this year for Swatch. They had the Moon Watch.
Oh, yeah.
Moon Swatch.
I didn't know
which
this.
was their big selling points this year. They took
Yeah.
the Omega and turned it into a Swatch, and it was the Moon Swatch.
No, good call. Good call.
Anyway.
This is what happens when a guy speaks on the call in the morning and I don't listen. Then I miss these things, which can definitely be the case.
Let's talk a little bit about today. I'm trying to figure out exactly kind of what the implications of all of this are. I think you've got to sift through the markets to get a full idea of what is really happening. Take a look at European banks. European banks are up massively today. Names like Deutsche Bank and Commerzbank are really moving. So there are kind of nuances within the equity story surrounding this BOJ narrative. Obviously, you take a look at the current people would have expected a bigger move here, but we're not getting it. But the conduit does seem to be through the FX channel and certain key equities. European banks are up big today.
Yeah.
Certain names really flying.
But you look at what's happening with South Korea. Their bonds closed up 20 basis points on the 10-year. Australia up 20. So it just maybe depends on where the positioning is and where the repatriation is going to be. It's like parse through asset by asset. Or is it just a function of people just not being around, so you're not going to get the big juicy moves that we may have been expecting?
Yeah, and maybe it just takes a while. The kind of the touch paper has been lit. Maybe it's going to take a while for the explosion to be felt.
Yeah.
Anyway, moments ago we heard from Bloomberg opinion columnist Mohammed Al-Arian on this very subject.
Okay, breaking through some structure again. Yeah, we're looking at 103.75, 103.6 as next support for the dollar index. Again, decent amount of liquidity at that level, decent amount of support. So we should see somewhat of a hold and a pause as it comes down to this point. I've got very nice reactions off this level, so hopefully we can stick for a bit, build up some structure. If not, yeah, probably see just a very quick move back down. So we could just see a very sharp move and then a sharp move straight back down in crypto. So we'll see how things kind of play out. But I mean, yeah, it's not exactly insane amount of volume coming in right now. And we're seeing supply being held. Buyers are slightly struggling, especially dollar index is making moves. So yeah, we're looking all right.
Let's pick up on that, Charlie. Out of interest, the Nasdaq just went positive. Why is this a shift? Very clear in the press conference that it wasn't. Why isn't this a move designed to make the policy more sustainable? What we've seen over the last few days is the ECB and the Fed both sounding super hawkish, and as a result of which, why isn't this just an adjustment that means that current policy can continue for longer?
It was a pressure release, and it was a pressure release focused on the market as opposed to what still clearly is an underlying macro case. The nominal growth story, the above trend price inflation dynamic in Japan is a real one. But at this point, they had to true up the 10-year part of the curve with the rest of the curve in JGBs and the fundamental story there, because there is going to be more normalization that follows behind it. This first move was the one that seemingly would get things going. Frankly, if we treat it like equity ball has acted over the course of the light, you can run on for long. And you take profit on that first leg of the trade.
That's a funny video.
In JGBs to a certain extent, I would prefer to play
Yeah, I mean, seeing some volume, supplies being dumped. We just need the sellers to really start to come in on the lower time frame. Otherwise, probably got a little bit more of testing out this level. So yeah, but again, there's a lot of resistance to get through. Yeah, probably looking at obviously prices coming down, maybe pushing up a little bit higher, and then just building on some structure, and then just going through the floor. This is your level really to look at where it found support. After that, you're probably seeing prices really start to drop. As obviously they'll be coming, kind of the next test of support is the previous low. So yeah, where those moon, that tells a lot about crypto market. Where the moon movers now, yeah. Um, exactly.
venture cap, things like that. If that money were to come back home and repatriate, which per our data has already begun almost a year ago, frankly, so this is not a new flow necessarily, but if that were to accelerate, it might actually come in a second order fashion with some of those sources of demand that we've gotten used to over the past decade, past 5 years, now actually turning into an outflow and potentially moving back into Japanese fixed income or even equities markets. That's where I think you could actually have an accident, just because in certain markets, i.e. the CLO market, Japanese investors became an absolutely enormous part of the overall source of demand story in recent years.
What's the possibility of a danger like that? And you have to kind of prepare for it.
So you're getting a little bit of price compression on the lower. As you can see, getting a lot of these structures coming in and out. So, I mean, yeah, we'll see which way it kind of breaks. Yeah, we kind of do need the sellers to start moving. It could be another case of what we got here. Shallow declining prices, then straight back up. But obviously we are at a nice level of resistance here. But it could be the case that, okay, yeah, we come up, tested once, come up again, test twice, come up again, test 3 times, and then see a much larger move. So we'll keep an eye out for the structure that's setting up. But again, guys, we are at a nice level of resistance, and as you can see, we're buyers are struggling to kind of make that push. So yeah, let's see. For now, I mean, it's obviously a lot more bearish than bullish. Yeah, this was just a crazy move, especially after. I mean, it wasn't exactly all new news coming out from that interest rate decision and Fed speech. 0.5 was as expected. And yeah, I mean, Jerome Powell came in a little bit more hawkish, but really, did he give us much information? Not really. Yeah, but obviously the base interest rate for next year, or the forecast for the base interest rate, has gone up, and that's majority of the bearish sentiment coming from. But I mean, yeah, markets are obviously starting to make that turnaround. Things are going to start slowing down, getting closer towards that recession, and then yeah, hopefully the US can be pushed into a recession and then start its recovery process. So before things get good, they need to go in line with obviously the recovery process, part of the economic cycle, right? That's where you kind of get the build back up in positions. Sentiment starts to change. Things are up on the rise. At the moment, we're still very much still on the downshift. So yeah, there's still more to come. That's for sure. Let's have a little look at equities anyway. Take a little look over. Right, we're slightly up for the day, ever so slightly, not much. But still, I mean, just ridiculously bearish, man. Finding a little bit of support this order block, as you can see, but I mean, yeah, it's just bam, 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 bam. I'm going to continue back down.
Europe to me still seems to be a rental. I think at one point,
Yeah. Nasdaq is literally basically at its lows. The S&P and Russell have still got a little bit more room, but I mean, they're very, very much on the move down. And it's a very strong move down. It's not like it's really struggling. I mean, it's slowed down a bit. Obviously, we're kind of at this area here where there's a whole load of orders to kind of get through. It's very concentrated, but once we start losing these lows, yeah, yeah, we're going. So come up a little bit, back down, come up, back down, potentially push past that. And then momentum's just going to only pick up more and more and more as we go. Once the equities make that move, you can say goodbye to crypto. Goodbye. And yeah, obviously, in terms of Bitcoin, crypto in general, actually look, well, let's just say Bitcoin. Cause some of these alts are actually just looking just absolute trash. But yeah, Bitcoin obviously made its move down first after the whole FTX scandal. But the equities were holding, and now the equities have fully turned over. They've toppled over heavy. So yeah, this is we're going to see a very, very large sell. Liquidations are going to definitely start to stack up. I mean, very bearish structure here. We broke out, and now we're very much beneath. So just look at that sell side. Look at that sell side compared to what you got on the move up. There's no volume on this move up here. And then bam. Crazy. Alright, let's get rid of some of this.
That's now sort of changed, and we're on the pathway to normalization, and the market is going to be pretty volatile as we progress along that path.
Smart appliances promise to make our homes greener. To protect our planet, Samsung will continue to introduce innovative technology to help consumers live a sustainable.
Came in perfectly to this order block as well, and just got a whole load of supply dumped. Huge amounts of supply being dumped. Beautiful. Yeah, so things are slightly starting to topple over a little bit here, ever so slightly. So let's see how things kind of develop. I mean, we had some trades in the pipeline for a potential move up, but even they're just not even moving at all. It's such a small move, especially with Bitcoin kind of making a decent push and breaking out of structure, right? And the altcoins have literally hardly moved whatsoever. So that's telling you something. Yeah, Bitcoin's definitely going to have to make a much larger move. I mean, it's already basically at its very top resistance, really. Now, if it does start to break through these moving averages, right? So especially on the 4 hour, if it starts breaking through, let's say this previous price level, as well as this 100 moving average, then we can start. I mean, the altcoins will definitely start making a move, that's for sure. But again, very strong levels of resistance here. Yeah. I'm just seeing some structure being built here, and then compressing and then making a move back down. For how long that goes on for, not too sure. Probably maybe in the next few days. I might see maybe a very large move either just before Christmas, maybe Friday. If not, then Monday, Tuesday. I think Christmas is on Sunday, right? Might be wrong. But yeah, next week might see a very large break. Once everyone kind of starts to slowly come back. Even DXY is down. Crypto cannot make any move. I know, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I mean, DXY is clearly down. It's basically at a strong support here. So there isn't much more room for the dollar to make a move. So to go deeper into the support zone. Now, obviously, if the support zone gets broken and it makes that move and breaks through these levels here, then yeah, I mean, you can expect that will definitely push a pump or a quick shot move to the upside on Bitcoin, that's for sure. But I mean, again, this is a very strong reaction from buyers. So this is going to hold some sort of good strength. So it's going to take quite a lot of selling activity to make that break. So it's going to stall once it's comes in here a little bit deeper and starts to stall. Bitcoin start toppling over. So yeah, we'll see. Obviously, kind of liquidity is being slightly soaked up here from the supply side. So I wouldn't be shocked if we just continue creating some candles and then wicking, seeing a whole load of supply being dumped, and then bam. So we'll see. So much fear. Yeah, 100% so much fear. Again, participation rates right now are at an all-time low. You even saw, especially with the whole FTX scandal, a lot of people have just stopped trading, moved all of their kind of money out of those exchanges. So again, yeah, it's going to be very easy to make a very large move in the market. Yeah, but yeah, you're completely right. There is a whole load of fear at the moment. A lot of fear, especially after this move. It didn't even stall. It just pushed, and look at the amount of sell side volume that you're getting in. Very, very weak buy side. Okay, so just very, very, very weak. Yeah, the sellers are in it, so I'm going to let it push up, capture some more liquidity, build up on some orders again, and then make that larger break. Yeah, simples. But again, lots of liquidity. Yeah, we're making this break, so we can take this out. It's not a problem. Let's see if I can concentrate that level a little bit. Where are we at? Yeah, we can move it. Yeah, it's coming up and testing. Yeah, but again, going to see some more liquidity coming in.
But we see that so far European buyers have been very successful at attracting alternative LNG supplies. We do need them. We will need them also next year.
Yeah, again, see more supply. So it's very much a struggle. What's happening here is you're just getting, I mean, bulls are going to get enticed and going to get in, and then they're just going to get absolutely blasted. Yeah, repositioning here.
Indeed, we do have certain criteria where we have to suspend this mechanism, and if there is a
Jesus Christ, look at that. And that's the supply that you want to see. Wick on the top, shit ton of sell side, and that's what you want to see on the lower time frame. Start to build up. As it kind of pushes up, it might push up a little bit more, and you start seeing these sellers really start to ramp up. Yeah, and then once they take over control, exhaust all the bulls, bam, straight down. Yeah.
we have seen since spring that Russia doesn't need any excuses to cut off the supply. They have done so, and there is not much that Russia can do to retaliate, because there are also certain limitations for them. What kind of routes they can use to export.
Yeah, we're already finding support. It's just going to continue to struggle throughout today.
January, we have had in place our regional gas security groups. So we were prepared that Russia will cut completely its gas flows already since the beginning of the war. It has not happened yet, but it might happen tomorrow without any excuse that Russia will need. And Commissioner, let's talk about the weather because last week was very, very cold. We were in Brussels, it was freezing, and yet there were no blackouts. Are you in a position now with the numbers that you have, the savings that you see, the storage that has been built, to say you can
That's a crazy amount.
see blackouts this winter in Europe? I'm talking about January, I'm talking about
And it's true sell side volume as well coming in there.
there will be no blackouts due to the lack of gas. Our underground gas storage is full. It is still full. And our power generators who need gas, they are protected consumers. Of course, you never are fully protected against unplanned maintenance works, but because our electricity market is so well interconnected, neighbors can help their neighbors. And this is actually what we are doing right now with also Ukraine and Moldova, who are now interconnected with Europe. And despite Russia's atrocious attacks against civil infrastructure, we still can support even this country who is at war. So you're saying no blackouts, and Commissioner, the storage though for next year, that story looks very, very challenging for Europe. We should know the storage that we have full this year is partly thanks to Russia. It's going to be the case.
Yeah, probably looks like another push down, deeper into here, rebound, builds up some structure, start breaking through some levels again. And then, yeah, push up higher. Again, a lot of struggle at these levels, so yeah, I mean it's 3:30 as well, so markets are in full force, yeah.
The best preparation, of course, for next winter is saving gas right now.
Might be worth just having a little look at how high this could potentially go if we do break through this level. I mean, yeah, probably looking at 17.5, 17.4 really. Yeah, got a spike up here, so I wouldn't. I just don't see it. Yeah, I mean, just look at the amount of volume it needs to get through. So much volume. It's a ridiculous amount of volume. No way in hell.
Saying that, of course, there are also some big buyers of Russian crude oil who have received significant discounts already before, and our aim is to cut Russian.
Yeah, I don't see it. It's a decent amount of volume coming in though, but again, it's kind of mixed. You're starting to see a lot more sellers coming in now. Buyers are kind of slowing down, so we'll see how it develops. Probably see a little bit of a pickup in buy, pushing up a little bit higher as the dollar index kind of breaks through this level here. It's building on bearish structure here, so it wouldn't surprise me if we do make that move a little bit deeper into that supply zone here. Demand zone acting as support. But yeah. And again, we are at a very concentrated level of orders here as well. That's why we're getting a lot of struggle. So yeah, this area here has got a lot of orders. So I mean, strong support, previous support here. So if anything, might push down a little bit lower. there isn't a whole load more. But I mean, obviously clearly building up on some bearish structure here. So we'll see how things kind of react as it comes down a little bit more. Test that support zone. If you're not getting a lot of wicks on the bottom, then I mean it kind of just indicates obviously the liquidity has been sucked out at that point. So I'm just going to have to watch it to come down a little bit more, test that next level of support for that kind of demand to come in and make things turn around. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Right, it's going to go up, test that level, see if it can break through some structure. So, I mean, we shall see. Yeah, more supply. But I mean, just this price action alone is it shouldn't be finding this much resistance and seeing this much supply being dumped at on each of the breaks. It's very brief, straight back down. So yeah, I mean, kind of says it all really. Yeah, we should start seeing a turnaround relatively soon. I mean, just supply is just continuing to come in. So yeah, each time the buyers attempt to break and kind of breach it, they weaken each time. So yeah, all of it is being soaked up here. It could kind of spike up into this much larger area of resistance where there's a lot more supply. So if it does that, then that's probably where you will see a much larger turnaround if it does break through this high here. But again, loads of orders up here. It's not got enough power behind it to move. It's been weakened way too much here. 1, 2, 3 times. Way too much. Yeah. But yeah, right guys. I'm gonna love yous and leave yous. Just let prices do their thing. Once they start breaking down, seeing more supply coming in, this is your first kind of indication of large supply being dumped. It went up, tested again, broke through very briefly, And now, I mean, just making another turnaround. So you might see it continuing to attempt. And what will happen is that you will just slow down, and then the sellers will just completely take control and move things back down. But yeah, just keep an eye on the lower time frames. You want to see these huge spikes up in sell side. And obviously continuation with some nice wicks on the top indicating that supply is being dumped on each attempt to break. So yeah, could find brief support, move back up, continue wicking on the top, and then see a much larger. But I mean, yeah, this is weak from the buys. So yeah, in terms of our trades, if there are any premium members in here, yeah, we continue. We just average in. We're probably looking at a turnaround soon. Yeah, otherwise it's just going to be very, very short moves in the market that you're going to capitalize. So we may as well just average in for the larger move. That's the come, and then yeah, play out that way. Especially after kind of the structure that we had. Structure is still being built up, so you either stay out of the market and you wait for structure to be built up. So probably just stay out, enjoy your Christmas, and then come back. There'll be a lot more structure to play off. But for now, I mean, yeah, it's just trying to breach through resistance and support, building up on some volume, as obviously we got a very quiet period of volume on that last test down. And a little bit of a spike up, but I mean, yeah, the buyers slightly took control. But yeah, just let some structure build up and just positioning. So the next move, wherever we find resistance, whether it be at one of these levels here, is going to move down very, very fast, and we're going to be coming all the way back down to those previous lows that got formed after that short. So as you can see, we have been ranging for a long time. So yeah, downshift is coming, that's for sure. And we've already come down, tested this level here. The next level is literally all the way down to 15.6. That November low. We came down here, tested. And I mean, just the buy side reaction on this move back up was so weak. Extremely weak. Now we're actually starting to see a little bit more volume come in. But again, it's not out of this world. So compared to the sellers that we got on that move down, so yeah, that's probably looking like that's your top. We won't be going back and revisiting probably 18k really. There's volumes at 17.5, between 17.5 and 17.4. So if we do break, that's probably the most likely area of resistance after we break that 100 at 17.1. If we manage to hold, then it might be the case that we just build structure here, and then the market, depending on what the dollar index does as well, we could break out either way. Okay, it does depend on whether obviously the sellers do have enough liquidity to make that move to break this low here. If not, we'll come up, tap liquidity up here, and then move right back down. But yeah, I mean, we're on the 4 hour. Probably talk about that much larger move in the next week, maybe. It's not far away. Build up some structure and then literally just slam it. So yeah, in terms of our positions, again, we'll just average, do it nice and safely. We're definitely on the right side of the card, from what I can see. So yeah, go with the trend, and you pull out on top. But yeah, repositioning, ready to go, loading up, and yeah, once we start breaking through here, probably looking at that 618 at holding, maybe slam it down, test here, build up some structure, and then go again. Yeah, so I'll probably look at, for the larger move, playing it all the way down, take some profit at this low here, and then wait for the break, and then 618 probably get out, wait for a rebound, and then go again for the next leg down. But yeah, that 618 is looking good once we break through here. But yeah, I'll definitely be taking some profit at this low here where it's tested twice, and then just take it all out at that 618. Da, da, da. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, nice buy side volume, but clearly not enough to get through that. It's already been soaked up. Buyers have been weakened there. So even if they made a move and soaked up all of this, there's so much volume on the top that yeah, the same thing's going to happen. They're going to struggle. A load of supply is going to get dumped, and then the sellers are only going to strengthen each time. And you're going to see a bit more of a reaction from the sellers than you already are. I mean, just the volume's coming in. So we'll see. Could be just build a bit more structure, maybe ramp up again, test it, tap in some more supply, and then start seeing the sell side volume bars kind of pick up, and the buy side kind of switch over. And then yeah, that's your indication that your sellers are in play. But I mean, they're already starting to take some control here. Dollar index is making a slight move up, so it could come up, hold one of these levels, then make that move down, and then rebound back up. So I mean, kind of in a descending channel here, right? So yeah, but anyway guys, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll touch base with you later on for that New York close. So yeah, let's see how things kind of play out. Obviously the European close is coming up, so we should see some volume between 4:30, about 5:30. There's always a little bit of volume that comes in a little bit after, so see how things kind of play out, and we'll touch base on that New York close later on at 8 p.m. But yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, wish you all the best. Cheers.